Now, if Cardo somehow came up with the audio pack where you can plug it into a camera or you can plug it into a voice recorder where it takes all of the audio that comes through a Cardo, man, Sena will have their hands full. I'm telling you.
Gold Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my motovlogs.
What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Chris, out on the Gold Wing. Out on the Gold Wing. And today is Tuesday, October the 15th. And today I'm showing 71 degrees. It feels good out here. Been getting a little sprinkles in the area, but it feels good out here, man. This is perfect riding weather. 71 degrees in front of the bike. I'm showing about 72 degrees in the cockpit. Perfect riding weather. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about, is the Cardo Pack Talk Bold good for motovloggers? Is it good for motovloggers? That was one of the questions that was presented to me, so I thought I would let you guys know, and we can talk about it here today, whether the Cardo Pack Talk Bold is good for motovloggers. Today I am wearing my old faithful, the Sena 20S. I'm wearing the Sena 20S. In my personal opinion, as it relates to motovlogging, the Sena is better than the Cardo Pack Talk Bold when it comes to motovlogging. And let me tell you why. Is because one thing that I like about Sena has the Bluetooth audio pack. So that means whatever audio comes from your Sena can be recorded through the audio pack straight to my camera. And whatever voices come through my 20S will be recorded onto my video. So I do like that about Sena. That's one of the reasons why I'm still sticking with my old faithful GoPro, the GoPro 4. I think they're up to what now, a GoPro 7 or 8 or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm still on my GoPro 4 because my audio pack fits the GoPro 4. It will not fit the 5, the 6, and on up. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sticking with the GoPro 4. So in my personal opinion, again, I think that the Sena is way better than a Cardo when it comes to motovlogging. I don't feel like the Cardo stacks up when it comes to motovlogging. And I'm going to get to what it does stack up to here in a minute. But as it relates to motovlogging, a motovlogger has to be able to capture the voice. You have to be able to capture the voice. If you cannot capture the voice, then it's no good. Now, with the Cardo, you can take well, let me say it like this. When it comes to motovlogging, the way that I motovlog via Bluetooth. My Sena is connected to my Sena, and it records it to my GoPro camera. But that is not the only way that you can motovlog. You can motovlog, you could get a lapel microphone, a little cheap lapel microphone. You can plug it directly into your camera, and you can record a motovlog with a regular lapel microphone. Now, the downside to doing it that way is that if you're doing a group ride, you will not be able to capture anybody's voices but your own. So for solo motovloggers, you're not doing group riding, you could take a cheap lapel microphone, run it straight to a voice recorder, or you can run it straight to a GoPro camera, and you can have a good solo motovlog. So it doesn't matter if you're using a Cardo, it doesn't matter if you're using a Sena, it doesn't matter if you're using a U-Clear or whatever some of you guys out there use. You can use that on a solo motovlog with a regular cheap lapel microphone. But as it relates to motovlogging and mixing in group riding, I think that the Sena is better because whatever voices comes through my 20S or my 30K will get recorded to my camera via the Sena Bluetooth. So I think that's why I say that the Senas are better when it comes to motovlogging. I think that the Senas is a lot better when it comes to motovlogging. But now when you take the exact same Sena and you start pairing it up to a bunch of riders, a bunch of motorcycle riders, 6, 7, 8, 9 riders, you're gonna start getting all this cracking, this popcorn sound. You're gonna have problems with losing connections. You're gonna have problems with staying connected. It becomes a nightmare with the Sena when you get into the larger group rides. Now, 1 or 2 bikers, it does fine. 3 or 4 bikers, it does fine. But when you started to just stack in more bikers, the signal gets weak, the voices get low, and it just becomes a nightmare. Now, let me talk about the Cardo Pack Talk Bowl. As it relates to motovlogging, I said that I believe the Sena is better in my opinion. But now, when it comes to group riding, the Cardo is better. And let me tell you why. Because the Cardo uses the DMC, which is dynamic mesh communication. It has a longer range. It's gonna be clear. It's easier to connect. Once you pair with another rider, they're gonna always be paired up unless you delete your pairings. So that is an added benefit of having the Cardo. Once you pair, if you got 10 bikers, you pair those 10 bikers with the Cardo, hit one button and everybody connect and everybody stays connect. So if one rider drops off, the signal leapfrogs, nobody get disconnected, and when the rider that dropped off come back to the group, he will automatically connect. The only way that it will not do it is that you have deleted all of your pairings and you would have to repair all over again. But the added benefit to the Cardo is that you don't have to always keep pairing helmets. With the Sena, it's like a daisy chain. A pairs to B, B pairs to C, C pairs to D, and so on. But if you're in the middle of that daisy chain and you break the signal or you drop off, you're gonna cut off everybody behind you. So that's one of the negative sides to the Sena. Now the 30K was supposed to fix that problem, but in my opinion, the 30K is worse. It doesn't do what it advertises, in my opinion. Maybe on 1 or 2 riders, but it just doesn't do what it advertises. So the 30K to me is out. It's good for solo motovlogs. It's good for solo communications, 1 or 2 bikers, but for a group ride, I don't trust the 30K. But back to the Cardo. What makes the Cardo better than a Sena is for group riding. So for example, if you had 15 bikers and everybody had a Cardo, when everybody pair up, that group will always stay connected. But as it relates to motovlogging, the Cardo is a nightmare trying to record the audio. Which brings me to the video that I put up on yesterday about have I given up on Sena. It is a pure nightmare trying to record audio from a Cardo. Now, if you guys are just group riding only, and you're not recording, you're not trying to make a video, the Cardo is better than a Sena, hands down. But when you try to capture the audio from the Cardo, it becomes a nightmare. I've went through every scenario possible. I've bought the 3.5 millimeter cables. I bought the TRS cable that has the 2 black rings on the tip. That's basically a left and right channel stereo. I purchased the TRRS cable. That's the 3-tip, and basically that's left and right channel, along with the microphone. So for some of you guys' cell phone, my phone always ring every time I motovlog. It's still ringing right now. But I disconnected it from you this time. I didn't fall for it. I remembered to disconnect my cell phone from my headset so it doesn't interfere with my motovlog, because every time I make a video, somebody called. But back to what I was trying to say, that if you have a group of riders and everybody has the Cardo Pack Talk Bold, you cannot beat the connectivity with the Cardo. You're going to have a better range. You're going to have more clarity. It's not going to drop off. And if one drop off, it doesn't disconnect the group. If one drops out, everybody stays in. That's what I like about the Cardo when it comes to group riding. But if you want to step over into recording the group ride, you want to record the audio, that's when it becomes a problem, because it is almost extremely difficult to record all of the audio. You can record it, but it's going to be low. It's like the audio is low. You're not going to be able to hear it as loud. It has become a nightmare. I bought every cable imaginable. I bought the TRS cable. I bought the TRRS cable. I bought the 3.5 millimeter male to a Y, which gives you 2 3.5 millimeter females on the other end. I've bought every cable imaginable. I bought the 3.5 millimeter male with a 3.5 millimeter female on the other end. I've went through every scenario possible to record the audio on the Cardo, and it is almost extremely difficult. So when you guys watched my video on yesterday, you guys were saying how low my volume was, and you was, complaining basically about the audio. So that is the reason why. It's almost extremely difficult. That's why you don't see videos, if any, of anybody out there riding with a Cardo recording audio. If you can find it, send me a link. But, you're not going to find many videos of that happening. And that's why I like about the Sena is that they have the audio pack. So whatever audio is recorded from my 20S goes straight to the audio pack. I mean, it's perfect. The volume is loud and it's perfect. Now, if Cardo came up with their own audio pack, then look out, Sena, because now, remember, I told you that the Cardo is better than the Sena when it comes to group riding. But when it comes to recording the audio, it's a problem. Now, if Cardo somehow came up with the audio pack where you can plug it into a camera or you can plug it into a voice recorder, where it takes all of the audio that comes through a Cardo and puts that audio on video or either on a voice recorder, man, Sena will have their hands full. I'm telling you, they really will. But as it stands right now, in my opinion, the Sena is better than the Cardo when it comes to motovlogging, because it's easy to capture the voice. With the Cardo, that's almost virtually impossible. And if you can capture the voice is going to be low. The audio is going to be low. It's not going to be as clear. So that is the difference. So recap, Sena works great for motovloggers. Cardo works better for group riding. Two different things. But that's my honest opinion. And also let me say this too, is while I'm thinking about it. On the Cardo, when you guys was watching my video and you listened to how low the voice, how low my voice was on that video, this is what you got to understand. When you're doing a video, this is two things that's happening. One, you got video, you got audio. There's two different things. Video and audio. when you guys were listening to my audio, that's not how the Cardo sounds in the helmet. That's not how the Cardo sounds if I was talking to another biker via the Cardo. That's not how it sounds. You guys were listening to the audio. You were listening to my audio from the Pack Talk Bold. So what I'm trying to say is that that is not how the Cardo sounds. So I just wanted to put that out there for you guys, that you may not understand that the voice, or my voice level, or the audio that was coming from the camera doing that video is not how the Cardo sounds doing regular communications. That is two different things. Like I said, the challenge for me was to be able to record the audio. And fortunate enough, I was able to figure out a way to record the audio, but the audio wasn't that loud. But that doesn't mean that that's the way the Cardo sounds if you guys had a Cardo. That's not what that means. That's two different things. So I just wanted to hopefully clear that up for some of you that were thinking, man, I don't like the way that Cardo sound. It sounded terrible. No, that was not the Cardo. That was the audio that I was capturing doing the technique that I was using to be able to record my voice. The Cardo doesn't sound bad. It's just that the way I recorded didn't sound the best. Because again, trying to record audio with the Cardo is almost impossible. But that's not the way the audio sounds within the helmet. The audio within the helmet is crystal clear. The audio in the helmet is not popping, but that's just what you was hearing from the technique that I was using to record the audio. So there's two different things. So I just want to put that out there for you guys. So last but not least, so which one would I have? Which one would I be using? For me personally, I'm going to be using both the Cardo and I'm going to be using my Sena. I'm going to be using both of them. I think they both have their advantages and they both have their disadvantages. But for me personally, I will be using both the Cardo and I will be using the Sena. So it depends on which group that I am riding with at that time. So in my recommendation, if you can afford it, I would say get both. Get a Cardo and get a Sena. Or if you have a Sena, you may want to try out the Cardo. I wouldn't get rid of my Sena. But there's no rule that says you can't have both. You know, most people out there have two different type cars. They may drive a European car and they may drive an American car. Or they may drive a truck and they may drive a car. So there's nothing that says you can't have both. But for me personally, I'm going to have both. So anyway, I just want to put that out there for you guys that's been wondering, is the Cardo good for motovlogging? In my opinion, the Sena is way better. It's best for motovlogging. But for group riding, I would say go with the Cardo, because the Cardo has that dynamic mesh communication, which is a lot better to connect. It sounds better than the regular Bluetooth. And the Cardo has two modes. It has Bluetooth mode and it has dynamic mesh communication mode. So anyway, I'm here at DeSoto Honda. I got to pick up a few items. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free to put it down in the comment section below.
There's no reason for increased volume. I am scanning your interrogatives quite satisfactorily. I am the voice of Night Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference, a KIT if you prefer.